Well, my friends, the time has come. The day has arrived. It is the season finale of Halo Season 2. And I'm telling you, you're not ready. Oh no, you're not. All that and more starts right now. What's up, my know-it-alls? There is an absolute reason why this week's episode is titled Halo. I'm not even going to bury the lead. Spoilers if you haven't seen this episode. Spoilers if you haven't seen the series. Spoilers if you haven't played the game. I have not played the game, but I have done quite a bit of research on a few things. So a lot of really interesting stuff happens in this entire episode, and they do wrap everything up nicely with a bow. And one of my predictions last week absolutely has come true, which is we have finally gotten the complete Master Chief. That is, he's got the suit, he's got his helmet on, and he has Cortana, and it all went down just like that. So why is the episode called Halo? Because that's where we are. And I don't mean the show. They literally took us right to the doorstep of the very first game. Now, remember, I'm a total neophyte when it comes to this stuff. I don't know anything about the Halo games other than what my son played. So I've had to do a lot more research trying to find out and see what exactly this all was all about. And I did some research and I found out. The game Halo itself starts with you as Master Chief having arrived. You're on the Halo and your mission is to sort it out as best you can with stuff happening above and in the space, whatever else. And you do the thing. And they did all that. We're talking down to him flying in space, which is now, I've now find out is a thing that happens in the game. You're literally going through in the first person and the whole 9 yards. We see the final moments of Kai. Yeah. Now, mind you, at the very end of this, she's not dead, but she's frozen, which for, I don't want to say space, but for space situations could very well mean that she's in a form of cryostasis. The other thing is, so as we're going through this whole thing, we start out with Master Chief. He's got a mission. You see the third Spartan 3s, rather, the third what do they call it? The third wave or whatever. And Kai is with them and they're getting ready, and then their ship blows up.
Maintain formation. This is what we trained.
So when their ship blows up, they're scattered. And we're following Perez, who's in her suit, and she finally happens to make it. And when they make it, they go to the breach point, because remember, two whole other groups have gone before this one, the two other waves. So they managed to make it to their objective. Even it literally does feel almost like the simulation, in that they were constantly going. Eventually someone's going to get there. So they all get there, they get under the ship. As they're going, they immediately are like, well, we had no resistance. They get to this one junction point and they see more of the bodies piled up. So the first wave did make it. And what happens? There they are. Boom. Covenant guys are coming in and shooting stuff, and they're all doing their bit.
Contact!
And Kai is obviously outclassing all of the Spartan 3s, but they do their best, and they make it. They manage to make it to the bridge, and they're holding the bridge as strong as they can against unbelievable odds. Pause. Move forward. Fast forward. Rewind. Now we go to what's happening with Master Chief. Master Chief is he's on a ship. He's headed toward the Halo. He can clearly see that there are other ships and whatnot. Parangoski decides to give him a call.
Master Chief, this is Admiral Parangoski. Master Chief, do you copy?
What do you want?
And he's not hearing nothing. She's doing her smarmy political best to be all like, I want to tell you on behalf of everyone, we are so happy that you have returned, Chief. Blah, blah, blah. And she's really just kind of making a big show of it. And he's not hearing her at all. And at one point they're talking, he like, boop, turns her off. And everyone's looking around and she's like, she's all nervous because she doesn't want anyone to think, oh no, he's not paying attention to it. Okay, what are we going to do? Yeah, it's funny. So what happens is Chief's hearing, he sees and is hearing everything. Chief makes the decision. He makes the decision. And he stops the ship. And instead of heading to the Halo, he takes off for the Covenant Corvette. And he shows up. And so Kai and everyone are hunkered down. And out of nowhere, you suddenly see the forces that were attacking them coming in start dealing with something else. And everyone's looking. And who comes in? Chief. And he is raw. He is, oh my gosh. He is so good. It's the game all day. He's a one man just waging war and just taking fools, shooting people up and this and that, grabs the literal sword. He's cutting people and flipping around. It's great. No, he's amazing. And he walks in and Kai's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm here. He's awesome. He's here to save her, basically. Yeah, what it boils down to. And so they decide, she makes the decision that they're gonna get a bunch of other people off, and she decides she's staying because she has the spike and they're on the bridge. She knows what that could mean. So Chief he'll make sure everybody gets off, and then he jumps off the ship, and he's heading to the ship. He's heading through space, the whole bit. He's heading to Maquis' ship. On Maquis' ship, there's a final moment, a final confrontation, if you will, between Maquis and Cortana. And Cortana says, if you keep this up, blah, 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 the ship's going to break up, this and this, you need to get into the escape vessel. And she's looking, and she finally looks at her, and she's like, you know what I'm going to do? And she goes, well, judging by there's so much chance you're going to erase me permanently. And she's like, yeah. She's like, no, don't do that. And she crushes the little receiver thing. So then, they cut to outside the ship, and you see that she ends up taking Cortana's advice and jumping in the little escape pod along with the Arbiter, and they're heading down to the Halo. This is one of the few times I'm going to go back to the C plot, if you will. And it's okay. Halsey's made it up to the bridge where Parangoski is, and she starts observing some things. Meanwhile, Halsey's daughter goes back into her lab, and there's another young, hopeful scientist there, and she looks, and she's like, you didn't open the little thing, did you? Like, what's going on? And she's like, no, whatever this is. She leaves. That's when and we follow her for a little bit. She's getting sick. Something's happening. And at one point, she starts to sort of freak out and attack somebody. So they stick her in the brig. When they put her in the brig, she's there with Ackerson along with Kessler and Kessler's mom. Different cells. And she's in another cell. And that's, of course, we see that. Nobody really cares. I'm like, whatever. Kessler and them, that storyline is so unimportant to me, I can't even tell you. And so they keep looking at this thing. And I keep thinking to myself, I know this. What is this? Bro. It's the flood. That's right. This is the beginning of that entire scenario. So they're setting up. They're doing a great job setting stuff up. I knew they were going to eventually have to. We get to hear voices in the whole thing, and I believe the voices are either the precursors or the forerunners talking to Quan Ha. And so what ends up happening is Quan Ha everyone's being attacked, everyone's running away, and dude has to come out, and he fights through. His wife ends up dying. She gets infected, and she doesn't want to get them sick, so she stays. Quan Ha gets cornered, and eventually she sees the face of that shaman lady. And the shaman lady's talking to her saying, I can't hold them back for much longer. You'd better hurry. And so that's when Quan Ha ducks out. This parasite, this spore thing that's infecting everybody, it shows up as these little bugs and stuff. It tries to get Halsey later. Halsey manages to barely escape, or so we think. When she meets back up with her daughter, Halsey's been infected and is frozen. You see this, she was either whatever, drop of blood, something on her, whatever. So at the very, very end of the episode, her daughter puts her in cryostasis. Halsey's now in cryostasis. The process is being slowed. She's not going to, until she can figure it out. So that ends that particular storyline for now. Back on Halo. Who wakes up? Chief. He's in the middle of this valley area. He gets there. The Arbiter and Maquis are already someplace, and Chief grabs the nearest weapon he can. Him and the Arbiter go at it. The Arbiter's whooping up on him so hardcore. Finally, at the very end, Chief manages to get the better of him. And as he's sitting here, the Arbiter's like, kill me, destroy, blah, blah, this and that, blah, blah. And Maquis is about to tell him what he said. And he goes, I understood what he said. Because Warrior, game knows game. Okay. Game recognizes game all day. And he's like, I know what he said. I know exactly what he said. And so Maquis goes in, she touches the control panel, opens up the door to the thing. They go in. Throughout this whole thing, Chief's having a conversation with someone. It's a voice we haven't heard yet. Once they get to the end result, you find out it's the AI that controls the compound. And the AI has already spoken to Maquis, and now it's talking to Chief. And it's like, it literally, it is a race. And that is where we leave off. That's right. We've now entered, that's why it's called Halo. We've reached the doorway to actually Halo, to the actual game itself, or at least what should be the game. Obviously, they're going to probably deviate just like they've done with everything. We got the Fall of Reach, because Fall of Reach was always a prequel anyway. So we got the Fall of Reach. Now we got Halo. Eventually, I'm sure we're going to keep moving on forward. But yeah, there you go. Now you know. And if knowing's half the battle, you're halfway to being a know-it-all yourself. What's the know-it-all index for this episode for me? I tell you what, I'm going to give this episode was for me a solid, it was a good, did they stick the landing? Yes, they did. And because I'm super impressed by the way they connected and butted right up to the first game, I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. Right? So that's my episode rating. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the series rating. Season rating. Halo Season 2. What is my overall rating for the entire season? 1, this season is by far head and shoulders above Season 1. Season 1 was a little chaotic, and it took me a little bit to wrap my brain around some stuff. This season came in knowing exactly what it was, exactly what it wanted to do, and exactly where it was going. And that goes a big, long way with me. So, end result for me is, I firmly believe the entire Season 2 gets a 100% 8.5 out of 10. I enjoyed the heck out of this. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts on the season. Let me know your thoughts on the show in general. Would absolutely love to find out what you think about the series. I can't wait. We'll talk more, of course. I can't wait for whatever comes next. I know you're going to be excited because I am too. As soon as information comes out about it, I promise I will let you know. Don't forget to check out the Invincible review that's going to drop a little bit later today. We also have a Roadhouse movie review coming up later this evening. And a whole bunch of new stuff has dropped recently. 3-Body Problem, Arc, which is an animation based on a video game that's on Amazon. A whole lot of things happening, and I can't wait. Plus, we have the Know-It-All Files, which will be dropping this week as well. I can't wait to see all of this and talk to you soon. Never forget, everyone loves a know-it-all.